girls, now we're going to do a practical demonstration of how to make a soluble salt, starting with an insoluble solid and an acid. So we have our acid here. You can see we've got sulfuric acid, and I'm going to measure out, it doesn't have to be exact, but approximately 25 centimetres into a measuring cylinder. So we can just pour 25 centimetres into a measuring cylinder and then put that into a beaker. So I've got a beaker here, put my 25 centimetres into the beaker, and Miss McLaren is going to add the copper 2 oxide.
Copper 2 oxide. Now notice it's a black solid. So I'm going to add 2 or 3 spatulafuls of the copper 2 oxide into the sulfuric acid. I need to make sure I add excess because I want to make sure that all the sulfuric acid has been used up. And I will actually use a stirring rod so that we can stir the reaction mixture. We can also heat the mixture. That will increase the rate of reaction.
Now I put this onto a white background so that we hope once the solid has settled, you'll be able to see the colour of the products that are formed. We'd have to wait for that to settle a little bit. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it very well.
While we're waiting for that reaction to occur, then we'll just discuss the word equation. So, you're starting with copper 2 oxide. Now, copper 2 oxide is quite distinctive. It's a black solid. And when you add it to sulfuric acid, well, we should all remember our word equations. So, it's the base plus an acid, and that will give you copper 2 sulphate plus water. And the copper 2 sulphate solution has got a distinctive colour. It is blue. So let's look at our reaction mixture now.
So we have the excess copper 2 oxide, which you can see, if I put a background here, there is still a lot of black at the bottom of this beaker, and that's the excess copper 2 oxide, and we have to get rid of that by filtration. So we have the filtration apparatus here, conical flask, you can see the conical flask, we have a filter funnel and the filter paper, and it's very simple. We just pour our mixture, give it a bit of a stir so we get all the solid into the filter paper, don't need all the solid there, and let it drip through, and then we'll be able to see the colour of the copper 2 sulphate which has been formed.
And you can see the copper 2 sulphate is dripping through, and your copper 2 oxide is remaining in the filter paper because that is excess. So what we've actually done now is we've made the blue copper 2 sulphate solution, and we've removed the excess copper 2 oxide.
So the liquid in the bottom of the conical flask is called the filtrate, and the black solid that's collected in the filter paper is called the residue. And I hope that you're beginning to see the blue colour now coming through, just about, I think. Let's have a little, let's hold this up a bit more and you might be able to see it better. Let's have a look. Can you see that lovely blue colour there beginning to form?
And if you can recall, when we had the salt solutions, then what we'd actually do is we'd use the crystallization method using the copper 2 sulphate solution, and then when we crystallize it, we would actually then form the copper 2 sulphate crystals. So I think we've actually done quite well here, Dr. Bohr.
All done.
All done.